Which would be the greater glory? To still follow and trust God even if I lose my child? Or if God raises my child from the dead? God asked me this question when I was facing the possibility of losing my then third child through a miscarriage. It wasn't easy to admit, but in my heart, I knew God was telling me He would not be raising my child to life. I've had a close relationship with God since young, and I've been faithfully walking with Him most of my life. I even had 2 supernatural painless childbirths before my third pregnancy. By faith and declaration of God's written promises for my body, I was able to reject every pain. I don't think I've done anything wrong to deserve this miscarriage, so when I got diagnosed with it, it just didn't make any sense to me. So before I was pregnant, God showed me in a dream that I was pregnant. Then later on, He gave me the name Josiah. Sometime later, God said to me 3 things. Trust me, I will provide, and I don't make mistakes. Then a day later, I tested positive. So God was telling me things that had not even happened. Then, on one visit to the gynae, I was diagnosed with miscarriage. What was difficult for me really is that having gone through 2 childbirths, which brought so much of life and abundance, and now the miscarriage that I had to go through, which was the extreme end of the spectrum, death. Now, in between the first diagnosis and the operation, I did what most God-loving Christians would do: to have faith and pray and believe for a miracle. At that point, that was what I understood of God, that He could raise the dead to life. He could do anything. My entire family was praying for me, and I also sought a second opinion for the diagnosis. And in this second consultation, the doctor saw a flicker of fetal movement together with a faint heartbeat. Having gone through 2 painless childbirths previously, I was extremely hopeful actually that God would perform a miracle on Josiah. But on my wedding anniversary, I went to this second gynae for a second time. And that day, he confirmed that the baby was dead. I only felt the full impact of losing my child after the operation to remove the fetus, and I became so confused. Why did God allow this to happen? The next few days of rest after the operation gave me physical strength, but my soul was weary to a point of numbness. I couldn't even cry it out. Should I have believed for a miracle, or should I have accepted it and moved on? But I recall a vision I had when I was under anesthesia at the hospital. I was speaking to a woman who had just gone through the same operation. She wasn't a Christian, and I told her that her baby was safe in heaven with Jesus, and He was offering her that salvation too, and she would one day see her baby again. And then I realized that God had shown me the same affirmation. God showed me Josiah with my grandma in heaven. He also affirmed me that He loves me, He loves Josiah, and He wanted me to trust in His unfailing love for me. One afternoon, after settling my daughters for a nap, I remember staring blankly at the ceiling. Then I asked God to show me His love in the midst of all these thoughts that I had. And I asked God for new lenses. I wanted to see through God's lenses because I just couldn't do it by myself. I was too confused. And as I closed my eyes, different people came to my mind, and I thought about how I could be a blessing to walk with them through their journey of miscarriage and childbirth. When I reopened my eyes, it was a different sight from what I saw before. There were some words scribbled on a stack of boxes in front of me, and I saw the words glass cups, loose items, and Huggies Up. At that point, I knew exactly what God was telling me. Glass cups represented my fragility, loose items represented the loss of Josiah, and Huggies Up was God's invitation to me to hold His hand. And at that moment, I reached out my hands toward His, and that was my act of surrender. Up to today, I still don't completely understand why the miscarriage had to happen, but having gone through it, I'm now assured of His love for me because He met me in my pain and loss as a mother. He also assured me that my son is safe in His loving arms. And I choose to live every day walking by faith even when I cannot see. My circumstances don't change the fact that God is still God. He is love, He loves me, and He's gonna work all things together for my good.